What if real love is supposed to evolve? Hey there, I'm Sharon Pope. I help strong and successful women who are struggling in disconnected marriages get the confidence and clarity they need to either fix the struggles in their marriage or move forward without regret. If you like what you hear, I hope you'll subscribe to this channel. So, what if real love is actually supposed to evolve? So, when we start out in relationships and everything feels new and exciting, and there's those butterflies and those intense feelings at the very beginning of a relationship, we can sometimes call that falling in love. And we call that like that's the real love. When we feel all those feelings, that's what's real. That shows up a lot when there's an affair, because that is new and exciting, but it's also risky and dangerous. And so it feeds us the same sort of drug hit of the new love. But then inside of our marriages, after we've been together for a decade or two or three, now that the butterflies are gone, the intensity isn't exactly there anymore. And many times we'll look at that and think, well, something has gone terribly wrong. Now, in the book, The Feminine Brain, the author talks about how the brain circuits are activated when falling in love. They match those of a drug addict craving their next fix. So she literally says, if you put an MRI on the brain when it is falling in love, it will mirror what it looks like when someone is on ecstasy, cocaine, or opiates. And so the deal is, if we are always seeking the next fix, then what? Every 10 years, we have to get a new partner? I'm not interested in that, getting a new partner every 10 years. And so I think that relationships are supposed to evolve. And I say the word evolve very specifically because I'm not buying into this idea that there's this high at the beginning of the relationship and all the euphoria and all the butterflies and all the good feeling stuff. And then it's just a slow, steady decline into something that feels like crap. I'm not buying into that either. But I do think that relationships are supposed to evolve. So think about it. We can't maintain that same level of intensity, right? Even a drug addict doesn't stay on drugs 24/7. So we're not supposed to maintain that same level of intensity permanently. So that's the first thing. The other thing is that it's just not practical. If we were that into one another and intensely focused on one another, how would we ever raise children together? Who's going to hold down a job? And how are we going to pay bills? And how are we going to function? How are we going to grow a family together and build the things that we want to in this life if all we're doing is just having the intense relationship and having a lot of sex together all day, every day? So there's this euphoria place. And then we hit this softer place of where we can function together. So nothing's gone wrong. And because I am coming up on 50 here, is that our relationships can evolve beyond that. Like, what if, just go here with me for a second. What if once the kids are grown and they're off building lives of their own? And what if the career, we don't have anything to prove anymore? What if financially we're pretty stable? Now, can we evolve the marriage to a new place? Can we climb a new mountain together? And maybe it's not this euphoria, mania of early love, and we get back to this place of butterflies. But what if we can climb a different mountain and get a new vantage point, a new perspective that feels rich and meaningful and deep and important? Like, now that we've gotten some of these other things taken care of, now can we climb a mountain and see a new perspective? Can we create something that feels important because we now have a shared history together? We've come through some things together. And coming through those things is important to us. Yes, I've hurt you and you've hurt me over the years, and we've had to forgive one another. And we've had to forgive ourselves sometimes for how we showed up inside the relationship. What if after, a lot of the heavy lifting of our midlife, now what if, coming up into our 50s and 60s, we can create something that feels really soulful together. And so we're not chasing the early high, and we're not settling for, oh, this is all it's ever going to be. But it's more like, I want to walk beside another soul in this life, and I want it to feel important. I want to have really meaningful experiences with you. I want to continue to grow as an individual. I want to continue to grow as a couple together. That's what I'm interested in. My husband and I both are turning 50 years old this year, and we're expecting our first grandchild literally tomorrow. And that's an important time, but we're moving into a new phase together. And I think about, I don't want the new love thing, and I don't want to settle for boring love that feels safe and stable, but boring. I want it to feel really good. And I want it to feel representative of who we are today, what we've come through, and where we're going, and what we're growing into, and what we want to feel, and what we want to experience together. Now, that doesn't just magically happen, but it just takes a little bit of intentionality. And that's what I'm shooting for, is reaching for a new evolution in this life together. I think rewriting the marriage rules halfway through is so important. I think it's critical, because just because the unwritten marriage rules of what the two of you came up with when you were in your 20s or early 30s, that worked for you through your 30s and 40s, and now is no longer working for you, at some point we have to rewrite those rules and get it to a place that it represents who each of you are as individuals today and who you want to grow to be as a couple, given where you are today. Don't ever think that things are set in stone, or that, love starts out great, but then it's just a slow, steady decline into the grave. It doesn't have to be like that. I'm not buying into that, and I hope you don't either. If you'd like to see if your marriage can evolve to a new place, or if maybe it's time to close the chapter on this particular relationship, if you're seeking that clarity for yourself, I want you to go to clarityformymarriage.com to see if there's a fit for you and I to work together. If you like what you heard on this channel, I hope you'll subscribe. And if you would like to be notified every time I post a new video, just click the icon in the upper left corner at the end of this video. Until next time, take good care.